Joining us now on this topic and many others is a great man, Jason Whitlock, host of Fearless with Jason Whitlock. Jason, welcome to the program. Jason, I'm going to talk about a different topic, actually, one that is far more important than Syria, far more important than trade. It's the 12-team college football playoff. And so I want to dive into this because it's a major story. Is the 12-team playoff ruining college football, or is it saving college football?
Well, you're talking to someone who's always been against the playoff system, always. So even when there was just 4 teams and 2 teams or whatever, I was always like, hey, college football is not broken. It's a unique system that the regular season is the most meaningful and impactful in all of sports. And so you're talking to someone that has a pretty clear-cut position. Now, I'm not a fan of the 12-team playoff. I did enjoy this past weekend, the conference championships, thought those games were amazing. And, I somewhat enjoyed what transpired this weekend in terms of teams getting into the playoffs or whatever. But when you're down to debating who's number 12, it's really not much of a debate. I think Oregon is the best team. And, I think maybe Georgia, maybe Tennessee, maybe Texas are on their level. But Oregon is clearly the best team in college football, and I don't need a playoff to confirm what my eyes have seen.
Well, you're going to find no disagreement here on this program, as I'm a big Ducks fan. My dad, my uncle, my aunt all went to University of Oregon. I grew up a big Ducks fan. But however, in this new 12-team configuration, it seems as if Oregon has the hardest path in this bracket than even the teams that they beat. Boise State, who they beat, and Penn State, who they beat, has an easier path. How did that happen? What does it even mean to be the number 1 seed anymore in the college football playoff?
It means if there's a possibility of screwing something up, the NCAA, college athletics will take advantage of that opportunity. They should have been able to see this coming, that there's no way Oregon should be facing a more difficult task than Penn State. It's Georgia is facing a more difficult path. It's stupid. They've screwed this up. They'll correct it next year. I like the way Dan Lanning, the Oregon coach, handled it, though. He instead of whining and complaining, he said, hey, it's a great challenge. We're playing for a national championship, and we're not going to duck any challenges, so we're good to go. He's got the right mindset. I think they'll survive the struggle, but, it is just one of those oversights, or they overlooked an opportunity to get this thing right coming out the gate.
I do have one more question on the college football thing, because it actually has a legislative and a policy angle. There is going to be a very big push this spring. Probably Nick Saban will end up being the kind of consensus figurehead to fix NIL. Does it need to be fixed, Jason? If so, how can we even think about this or approach this?
Yeah, it needs to be fixed, but the solutions that I used to talk about 25, 30 years ago no longer apply, because I used to want to attach, there's a handful of athletes, let's say 300 in major college football, 75 or so guys in major college basketball that need to be paid. And now we're paying everybody, and it's just, it's professional sports now, and everybody's the wild, wild west. But my solutions used to be attached to making sure that these guys graduated and paying them at the end of their college careers upon graduation. Now, in my mindset now, where I pretty much hate all these universities and colleges, I'm not sure if forcing these guys to be educated or indoctrinated at a college is actually the right incentive. But yeah, there has to be some sort of salary cap or some sort of some sort of fairness introduced, rather than who is it? Was it Larry Ellison and Dave Portnoy that just bought Michigan's next quarterback, Bryce Underwood? I'm just not sure if that's a sustainable structure.
Yeah, and again, there needs to be something still authentic and non-commercialized. And again, So I'm a big Ducks fan. I'll just say this in closing of this segment. It is so clear what the committee did here. They knew what they were doing. They wanted a ratings Rose Bowl of Ducks versus Bucks. That's what they wanted. They wanted an Oregon-Ohio State Rose Bowl because all these other matchups are a little goofy, like SMU, and not exactly what will draw the eyeballs. So they wanted a beautiful Rose Bowl at 5 p.m. Eastern on New Year's Day. I think it's all rigged. However, it's okay. That'll be the mini national championship. It's like a national championship play-in for the right to play Arizona State or whomever.